People think that positivity is stupidity. I want to talk about this book. This is To Sell Is Human by Daniel H. Pink, and it was published in 2012. He's just entirely changing what it means to have a job in sales. He really emphasizes EdMed, so the educational system and the medical field, by saying that they are some of our most important salespeople, selling their ideas and selling their knowledge to people like us and hoping that it sticks. And he recognizes that when most of us think of salespeople, we're thinking of people who are trying to get us to buy something that is over our budget or trying to push something on us that is not worth the value of what we're paying. But times have changed, and oftentimes the consumers know more about the product than the people actually selling the product. I know you can relate with your thousands of scrolling through Amazon reviews. So now the sellers don't have power over the consumers. Instead, they have to foster a connection with them. He then goes on to teach us how to sell. We live in a world where people think that positivity is stupidity, and so we rely on blunt honesty to try to make people believe us, but that might not be the right approach. Actually, your positivity ratio when trying to sell to people should be at least 3 to 1, so we should be actually a lot more positive than we think. Now, there is such thing as too much positivity, and it becomes unbelievable once we reach 11 to 1. But honestly, I've never seen someone be too positive. He goes on to say that salespeople shouldn't be discouraged after a bad result. It's all just part of the job. And if you keep going, you'll eventually get a win. Your number one goal as a salesperson should be to upserve rather than to upsell. Sales is an interaction between people, and your number one goal should be, how can I help this other person? And if your goal is to serve them, chances are their goal in the end will be to serve you too. Now, ultimately, I do have some critiques of this book. I felt like it was a little outdated, which could be my fault since it was published in 2012 and I just finished reading it. But I feel like for his new and improved take on sales, some things did kind of tire out quickly. He does a bunch of case studies, which is how to apply what he's teaching in the real world, and a lot of his examples tend to be a little outdated for my taste, but I think his principles are still there. So if you can find a way to look past those case studies, I still think this is a really good book for you to pick up and read. If you've made it to the end of this video, I want to say thank you by giving you my favorite part of this book. It's a small section of the book, but it's about self-talk and how it can affect the way that you perform. Actually, phrasing your self-talk in the form of a question rather than a statement can increase your success rate by up to 70%. 70%, yeah. So rather than phrasing your self-talk as a statement, such as "I can do this," it could be more effective to phrase it as a question, such as "Can I do